Blake Austin Griffin, born March 6, 1989. Today's feature is one of the best in-game dunkers the game has ever seen. I'd even go as far as to say, as far as in-game dunks besides Michael Jordan and Vince Carter, there were none better. When he first got to the NBA, the world literally waited and waited and waited to finally see what he could do on the NBA level. And when he hit the floor after having to sit his supposed rookie season, he did not disappoint. So let's just get this out the way right now. Blake Griffin was a very good NBA player that I think will be a first ballot Hall of Famer when his career is all said and done. 6-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA team performer, Rookie of the Year, Slam Dunk Champion, College Basketball Player of the Year, McDonald's All-American, and carried himself like a true professional on the floor for his entire 12-year career. And off the floor, he's one of the best representatives of the league out there. With all that said, believe it or not, he had the talent, opportunity, and physical tools to be even better as a basketball player. What spawned this story is his name being recently in the news for having dunked for the first time in over 2 years with his new team, the Brooklyn Nets. That's amazing to me that the day actually came where that would be the headline on a Blake Griffin video. Because if it's one thing he was able to do, it was dunk the basketball. Here are a few things he wasn't able to do that stunted his growth and, in my opinion, has him a little short of what I saw him becoming at the beginning of his journey. Had he have these things added, he could have been one of the greatest ever. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Get it, man. Quick reminder, if you want exclusive content like workout videos, ad-free features before they release here, and more, head over to the Patreon page now and become a supporter of pushing these stories and efforts to help any young hooper not have their growth stunted. It's something I wish I had but didn't, so it's my offering to you. Appreciate you guys. Please drop a like and comment on this video and let me know who I should do next. Enjoy the video. Blake Griffin is a 6'9" power forward from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma that was blessed to say the least with all the physical tools to be a star by the time he reached the NBA. Along the way, he literally dominated the competition and was all everything as an amateur. He played for his father at Oklahoma Christian, where he was a 4-time state champion, won the Player of the Year for the state as a junior, averaged 26.8 points, 15.1 rebounds, 4.9 assists, and 2.9 blocks as a senior, and over 4 years posted a 106-6 record. Legendary accomplishments. He was the State Player of the Year once again, Gatorade National Player of the Year, All-American everywhere, and won the dunk contest at the McDonald's All-American game. All that, and he was still ranked outside of the top 10 in one of the greatest high school classes ever. But his talent was obvious as he entered Oklahoma, whom he committed to before his senior season began to play with his older brother, Taylor. Stunt number 1, an added jump shot. 13 to about 17 feet, that's all I'm asking. Had Blake Griffin had at least a mid-range jumper he could knock down consistently like most the power forwards of his generation, there's no way you can tell me he couldn't have been the best power forward to ever play the game. He can handle the ball, already moves like a guard, freakishly athletic, strong, plays the pick and roll beautifully, and although one of the nicest guys it seems, he, I'm sure, was scary for defenses on the court. He also had back to the basket moves sufficient enough, along with his athleticism, to where if he could only face up more and shoot it, it would have been over. I don't think it's unfair to ask or wish he had developed that over the course of his NBA career. And the fact he never really got around to it is really surprising. At Oklahoma, it really wasn't fair for opponents by his sophomore year. As a freshman, it took a little time for him to find his dominance, but he still led the team in scoring and rebounding, as it was just no match for him physically. In year 2, it was clear this was an NBA player playing against kids as he posted averages of 22.7 points a game, 14.4 rebounds a game, and took his team to the South Regional Final. As mentioned, he was the player of the year all across the board and consensus #1 pick, which he was selected by the LA Clippers in 2009. He was the Summer League MVP but broke his kneecap and had to miss his first season after surgery. When he finally got on the floor, he put up Rookie of the Year numbers and became the first rookie to be named an All-Star since Yao Ming in 2003. He averaged 22.5 points a game, 12.1 rebounds a game, and played all 82 games. It would be the only time he'd do that over his career. After his rookie season, the team acquired Chris Paul and Lob City began. Although it was a high-flying affair nightly, the team continued to come up short, and a lot of that was because of how predictable they became. Solely known for running and dunking and pick and rolls. Paul would encourage Griffin to develop his jumper, and at times it wasn't bad, but not consistent enough, and it hurt him and the team long term. You see a guy like Zion Williamson, and it's scary to think what will become of him because he's not even close to the shooter form-wise or attempt-wise as Griffin. Literally all his is at or over the rim. Griffin dealt with injuries his entire career because of the fact he couldn't rely much outside of his athletic ability. Zion, I hope you're watching. Stunt number 2, injury. Which brings me to this point. Blake Griffin has only played all 82 games, which is a full season 1 time in 12 years. Played at least 70 games 4 times, and in the last 4 years, played at least 30 games 1 time. Now, I know some of you are like, man, JC, another injury stunt? We've heard this before. You really haven't though. Injury is probably the leading cause of growth stunts because of how unpredictable they are and how sudden, along with how drastic they can change a career. It's important as a young player to learn the different ways players actually get injured if you want to help yourself avoid them to the best of your ability. The reason I think Blake continuously got injured ties right into stunt number 1. When you're a player that leans so heavily on using explosion to get by or over players as elite as in the NBA, injury is inevitable as your body gets older. Blake Griffin is the poster child for this, as he was so freakishly athletic that he got away with doing that and having success, so much so that he never developed other parts of his game to take pressure off his body. LeBron James is the perfect example. One of the most athletic players ever in the league, if not the most, but he's still going strong in year 18. He has developed, or some would say, always had the ability to relax and just be a player that facilitates the offense and still creates success for his team. He could literally pass every time and his team would still win the game because his development as a playmaker has gotten that advanced. Yes, he could run and jump over everyone like Giannis does, but you don't get to year 20 like that and still be considered an MVP frontrunner. Blake's injury history never had to happen had he developed his shooting, playmaking, and a better post game, although like said, that wasn't that bad. But him not being healthy is one reason he falls short of what his potential suggests, which is the greatest power forward ever. Stunt number 3, wasted years in Detroit. One of the saddest moments for me watching basketball recently is seeing Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin waste the last of their good years in places like Detroit and New York. I hate seeing that. The Clippers, after trading Chris Paul in 2017, gave Blake the chance to be the franchise cornerstone for about half a season, which, to say the least, did not work out. Because of the things mentioned earlier, his game just isn't built to be a franchise leader after all he went through physically, as he's simply not going to be healthy enough to do so, and doesn't present the versatility to do enough as well. He was traded to Detroit January 2018 and saw the final really good years of his career fly by the rest of that and the following season, where he averaged a career-high 24.5 points a game. The Pistons were eliminated in the first round by the Milwaukee Bucks after missing the playoffs the year before and the year after with Griffin. His numbers declined every season since, and in 2021, he and the Detroit Pistons agreed to a buyout, at which he then signed with the Nets and scored 2 points in his debut and, yes, finally dunked. He looks like a complete shell of himself at just 31, and I can't help but blame his time in Detroit for sucking the final juice out of his career, wasted away, having to do so much for them just to be, well, shitty. All in all, yes, Blake Griffin will be a Hall of Famer one day, I'm sure of it. But man, had these things not happened, it would have been nice to see what player he could have been. He still had a tremendous journey and is one of my favorite big men ever. Salute to him, but for these reasons, his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.